Okay, guys, I am super excited. Today we are going to take a look at Jack Nicklaus's golf swing. He's probably the greatest golfer of all time. Tiger Woods is right up there in my opinion. But as far as being able to win and place consistently at the top, Jack's just got the greatest winner's mindset of any person I've ever met. He just has no doubt, just no doubt. So let's take a look at some of these golf swings here. The first thing I want to point out is how upright they are. Number two, I want to point out how much leg drive he has. So here we go at the Masters, just pounding the ball. Notice that open setup. These 60 swings, I believe, are as good as it gets. So let's take a look at this particular swing. This is one of the best golf swings I've ever seen. The most power and control. Now, one thing I'm going to point out about Jack's feet are they're both open a little bit. He's slightly open to his target line, which is very interesting. That's something I'm digging into a lot lately with the Trevino work. He has his hands pressed forward in what we call a small Y position, where his hands are inside his left thigh. His head is behind the ball, and that's one of the things he does so well, is he keeps his head behind the ball. Now, this is one of the problems I had in my golf swing when I was really struggling. I was a lunger. But let's look at how much width he has going back. He takes it inside and up. He's slightly across the line, but look how much he's loaded into his trail leg. Now he's going to slam that left heel down, and he's going to just crush this golf ball. He really looks to me like a major league slugger, and he was a very good baseball player. So that's one of the things I like to keep in mind. I think he would have been as long as anybody on tour today. One of the famous things that we hear is they recreated the long drive competition at Cherry Hills, I believe, in 2012, where Jack won with a drive of 341 yards back in the early 1960s. When they recreated it in 2012, the winning drive was 340 yards, 1 yard short of what he did with a 42 3/4 inch driver and a Balata golf ball. But let's watch the leg drive on this swing. This is absolutely incredible how much he really transfers his weight and breaks those knees at the target. I love this straight on view here at St. Andrews. I think that this is like a 3/4 driver swing. He just needs to hit a fairway. Lifting the lead heel is, of course, a major part of my swing evolution. Here's Baltusrol 1980. Nice balance, just beautiful balance. Club outside the hands going back. And a little bit of early extension, I want to point out. You know, this is something that bothered me for a long time, was like, I have a bit of early extension. It's better than it used to be, but it won't go away. I still have some. But if we watch Jack, there's a little bit of early extension too. And he's the greatest golfer that ever lived. So if you have a little bit of early extension, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. So what we'll see here is I'll take him to the top. We see where his right pocket is at the top of the backswing. And then we're going to see the pelvis tuck under a little bit. So he's the greatest golfer that ever lived. Greatest driver of all time. And he has a little early extension. So it's okay. Just beautiful, beautiful transition, power, and confidence. He swings just like my older brother. My older brother swings this exact same way. Now I want to point out his divots. So he hits the ball with a slight fade, but watch how far left the divot is. So he's got an open stance, and this is something I'm working on because I'm trying to work back towards a fade. You know, he just comes down hard on top of the ball. Now we see where the pin is here at the Masters. Very left divot. Do you notice that? And Jack said on Sunday he's going right over that sand trap, but it looks like he's cutting it back towards the pin a little bit, the way he's looking. So once again, this open stance setup, obviously with the shorter irons, helps a lot. But let's listen to Jack and what his thoughts were on the golf swing.
Christo's boyhood idol Jack Nicklaus was a friend of Mr. Hogan and knew his game very well.
As a golfer, you've had a tremendous influence over my life. I remember all the majors from the 70s through your 86 Masters win that is the most...
Well, you missed a lot of them.
Well, unfortunately...
You're not that old.
My entire golf channel is about the classic golf swing. What are your opinions about the modern swing versus the way you were taught the game?
Well, I think it's, it's what they do today. Do I like it? No. I think it's harder on the body. Today they take the legs out of the swing a lot. Ben Hogan was a flowing motion. It was all from creating leverage by playing from the ground up and the feet starting the downswing and moving through it. And that's the way I was taught. That's the way I played. Today the equipment has allowed them to do different things. And I don't think you have to be quite as athletic today to play golf as you did then. But I think if you add athleticism to what you're doing, I think you'll be better players.
Wow. So this is my Jack Nicklaus golf swing. I'm trying to imitate him here. So it's not bad. There's a couple things I could certainly do better. One thing is I think my hands could be pushed a little farther forward. My grip could be a little bit weaker, but you'll see I have both my feet splayed open just a little bit, and I'm going to make the K with my legs as I lift the club as high as I can. So this looks pretty much like Jack Nicklaus, with the exception that I keep my elbows together. It's still a very Hogan thing that I do. He had a flying right elbow, but this is pretty much, I'm quite happy with this. This is a classic upright golf swing. Now, I'm not too tall either, so I'm always going to swing on a little bit of a flatter arc. Now, as I make my transition, that club is just going to sit behind me. For me, the transition is from where I begin to move to my lead side, which is my left, and I replant that heel. So let's watch the change from this position to when I plant my heel. So that's the transition to left arm parallel. I've got plenty of lag. I'm going to keep my head behind the ball. Club face is coming in square, and I should be able to catch it slightly on the upswing. Now this is nice. The club face stays square through impact. Nice full extension towards the target. Wow, that's as much extension as I've normally ever have right there. And then I want the club to be along my spine as I follow through. That's one of Jack's hallmarks as well. Again, being a Hogan swinger forever, I'm not going to be close to Jack. But let's take a look down the line and see what it looks like here. that was a great drive, little baby cut out there. Now, I hit that ball a pretty long way. So as we look at this swing in slow motion, let's break it apart here. For me, I'm going to try and take it as vertically as I can, which again is not, not that much, swinging the way I've swung for so long. But this is about as high a hands as I feel I can get. My right elbow doesn't fly very much. Jack took his away from the body a little bit more, which is something you see long drivers do. But you'll see my left heel is raised off the ground as I make the K with my knees. Now this is pretty high hands here. And now as I make my weight transition, boom, I go right down through the ball. And you see a little caddy dip here like Jack with my knees. I'm trying to keep my knees flexed a little bit through the hit. Certainly there's vertical force, but I'm trying to keep a little bit of bend in those knees. And you'll notice the club exits nice and low around through my left shoulder. With a little club head turned over. You'll notice that with Jack Nicklaus's swings down the line as well. But Jack was one of the greatest drivers of the golf ball in history. I think that's what made him an 18-time major champion winner. He was most strokes gained with the driver and the putter. And if you've got those things going well, then you're going to play a lot of great golf. Guys, I hope you'll look into MSE TV, where I've got my breakdown of the classic golf swing. The MSE golf system the MSE golf system really gets into the Jack Nicklaus style of swing, the weight transfer, how to use your feet and legs. You can choose to be upright, you can choose to be flat, but the leg work is what's the most important hallmark of what I'm trying to bring back to the game. So I hope you'll check out MSE TV. We have an intensive November 6th and 7th down in Redondo Beach at the Minimal Golf Club. So email me, Christo at myswingevolution.com if you'd like details. And in the meantime, I hope you hit them long and hit them straight.